Welcome to Wisdom In, a place where stories inspire and learning never stops. Here, we don't just tell powerful and meaningful stories, but we also help you improve your English through them. Each story is followed by a detailed breakdown of the vocabulary, idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs used. So you don't just enjoy the story, but also learn from it. Today's story is about a teenager boy named Aiden. Aiden was a student in class 10. He was friendly, funny, and always the center of attention among his friends. He used to crack jokes to make his friends laugh. He loved playing games on his phone and watching videos late into the night, but there was one big problem. He didn't like to study. Whenever his parents or teachers told him to focus, he would just grin and say, "Don't worry, there is still plenty of time." If homework was due tomorrow, he would start it just before going to bed. He always put off his homework until the last minute. If exams were coming up, he would open his books only a day before. His marks were average and sometimes he even failed smaller tests. But Aiden didn't care. He believed that somehow things would work out later. One evening, Aiden's father walked into his room holding something wrapped in a cloth while he was busy playing games on his phone. "This belonged to your grandfather," he said, placing an old, slightly rusty clock on the study table. He used to say, this clock reminded him that time never stops for anyone. Aiden looked at it curiously, then accepted it with a polite smile. The clock was simple, but it had a strong tick-tick sound that echoed in the quiet room. "Thanks, Dad," Aiden said half-heartedly, not really understanding the point. He placed the clock beside his books and went back to playing games. That night, as Aiden lay in bed trying to sleep, he kept hearing the sound, tick, tick, tick. The clock was ticking. At first it was just annoying. He turned his pillow, covered his ears, but the sound didn't stop. Tick, tick, tick. Slowly, something strange started to happen. The sound of the clock led him to a moment of introspection. It was a light bulb moment for him. He stared at the ceiling and thought about his life. He had dreams, big ones. He dreamed of becoming a doctor, creating meaningful change, making his parents proud, and building a life far better than the one they had. But what was he doing about it? Nothing. He sat up in bed, the sound of the clock growing louder in his mind. Tick, tick, tick. Am I just going to waste all this time? He whispered to himself. If I keep living like this, my goals will forever remain out of reach. That moment changed everything. Aiden finally came around and realized the value of time. He realized how time flies when you're not paying attention. He turned over a new leaf after that night. From the very next morning, Aiden made a promise to himself. He woke up early, made a timetable, and started studying a little every day. He began burning the midnight oil and decided to hit the books, preparing for his exams. He kept his phone aside during study time. He began asking questions in class, stayed back after school to clear his doubts, and started respecting his time. His hard work was a path to redemption for all the time he had wasted. He worked hard to catch up on everything he had missed. His friends noticed. At first they teased him, "Hey Aiden, what's up with all this studying? Are you trying to become Einstein?" He just smiled and said, "Just trying to win the race against time." He changed his ways in the nick of time. Day by day, Aiden kept going. Even when it was hard, even when others laughed, he remembered the ticking clock and how time never waits. Aiden's life went through a transformation after he started valuing time. Slowly, his marks began to improve. His teachers praised him, his parents were surprised and proud, and even the same friends who laughed at him started joining him to study. When the final exams arrived, Aiden was ready. Not because of last-minute cramming, but because of months of consistent effort. He figured out how to manage his time better. The day the results were announced, Aiden stood still in front of the notice board, eyes wide in disbelief. He had scored among the highest in the entire school. He had to face the music when his results came out. Teachers clapped, students cheered, and his parents hugged him tight with tears in their eyes. One of his teachers came up to him and asked with a warm smile, "What changed you, Aiden?" He looked at the teacher and smiled, then pointed to the old clock in his bag. "That clock," he said, "taught me that time is always moving. And if we don't move with it, we'll be left behind." Aiden's journey reminds us all of one powerful truth. Time is the most precious gift we have. Time is an irreplaceable resource. Once it's gone, we can never get it back. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Be consistent, stay focused, and use your time wisely, because your future is being built today. Now let's get into the vocabulary, idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs that we have learnt in this story. Vocabulary. Transformation. Meaning, a complete change in character, appearance, or condition. Example, Aiden's life went through a transformation after he started valuing time. Irreplaceable. Meaning, impossible to replace. Example, time is an irreplaceable resource once it's gone. Redemption. Meaning, the act of making something better or correcting a mistake. Example, his hard work was a path to redemption for all the time he had wasted. Introspection. Meaning, deep thinking about one's own thoughts, feelings, and actions. Example, the sound of the clock led him to a moment of introspection. Idioms. Burning the midnight oil, staying up late to work or study. Example, he began burning the midnight oil, preparing for his exams. Time flies, time passes quickly. Example, he realized how time flies when you're not paying attention. Hit the books, to start studying seriously. Example, Aiden finally decided to hit the books. In the nick of time, just in time. Example, he changed his ways in the nick of time. Face the music, to accept the consequences of one's actions. Example, he had to face the music when his results came out. Phrases. The clock is ticking, time is passing, often used as a warning. Example, the clock was ticking and Aiden knew he had to act fast. Turn over a new leaf, to change one's behavior for the better. Example, Aiden turned over a new leaf after that night. Light bulb moment, a sudden realization or understanding. Example, hearing the clock ticking was a light bulb moment for him. Phrasal verbs. Put off, to delay or postpone something. Example, Aiden always put off his homework until the last minute. Come around, to change one's opinion or behavior. Example, Aiden finally came around and realized the value of time. Stay back, to remain behind after others have left. Example, he started staying back after class to clear his doubts. Figure out, to understand or find a solution. Example, he figured out how to manage his time better. Catch up on, to make progress and reach the standard. Example, he worked hard to catch up on everything he had missed.